Hey! Oh, we are live at FabCon. Today we're continuing to have interviews with executives, people that have been attending the conference, working with Fabric, want to get their feedback and understand what we're dealing with. Today we've got Justin. Justin, excited to have you here. How are you doing today, sir?
Great to be here with you today, Chris. It's been a great conference too.
Oh, that's fantastic. Justin, where are you from?
I'm from Wisconsin. I work for ABC Supply. We're located right in Beloit, Wisconsin.
Oh, wonderful. Did you have a good trip in?
Yeah, the flight was great. Weather was good, and it's been a pleasure to be out here, get away from the cool weather a little bit. It's good.
Awesome, awesome. So, how are you and ABC Supply? How are you like approaching Fabric right now?
Yeah, we're exploring it, just trying to understand where Microsoft's overall direction will be. We've been a large lakehouse or data lake believer for 7, 8 years now. So we adopted other technologies over the last 8 years to provide that one data point and then to reuse that data point in all of our analytics. So it's just great to see the big tech companies all coming in and behind this idea of the lakehouse. I think it's healthy for competition. I think it's healthy to see evolution from some of the existing players. And I think Microsoft is starting to build a real nice product that kind of allows things to work end to end. I'm excited.
Well, that's fantastic. I know one of the big plays that Microsoft has offered in the solution is integration end to end versus having to uh, to have things that are not directly integrated. Not currently being fully on Fabric. Can you talk about, is that an attractive thing for you as an executive, or as you look at the solutions? How much does integration play in the tools you choose?
Well, it's actually a really big issue that we run into, even is just finding the right people to know the technology, to work on like the problems that our organization wants us to solve.
Yeah.
And not to sound like a poster child for statements like that, but that is my life at
Right.
the company, is trying to find the human talent to put behind the technology. And if we can use less people to move data into the platform and put more people actually working on getting value out, that's actually a very powerful option. Yeah, very good stuff.
That's yeah, and one of the things that they had a big announcement that now Copilot's available on any size FSKU. I've seen that as like, hey, this is because my personal experience is I'm not a Python developer, but I could do Python when I have Copilot. Like to me, is like, how does that change your ability to like hire and attract talent and move them into your data team when you don't necessarily have to have that as a skill set really anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think people are, I mean, at the stage that it's at right now. I'm a Python developer
Okay,
for a while, so I can actually
fantastic.
do some damage. I actually really enjoy a Copilot nowadays, though, because it's not my daily job.
Sure.
So I can see the value in them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to see, I think, where we'll probably see in the next 3 to 5 years where people will expect it, and it
Yeah.
won't just be a nice to have or that's interesting. I think we'll see where people will only take jobs where they can use those types of tools
Yeah.
because they know they'll make them be that much more successful.
Yeah, that's really true. That's true. Now you've seen a lot of the announcements today. Was there anything that really, or today and yesterday, was there anything that really stood out to you as like this is something I want to explore and look into?
Well, I mean, for us, I really want to look at the agentic experiences like
Yeah.
data agent. We have a lot of different leaders in our company. We're a company of about 20,000 people, and
Sure.
so getting information to all the decision makers at the company is quite a challenge. And we have a large field, so they all have 1,000 locations across the U.S.
Right.
So they're all very busy managing their location, working with their customers. They don't have 30 minutes an hour a day to look at all the dashboards we've made for them.
Right.
They want to be able to ask a question and get an answer. And I'm excited about the developments as they're coming, because I think when we can start to like trust the solution to actually
Yeah.
provide that answer, I think a lot of people are going to adopt it in the end, because while having a dashboard's a good tool to like go look at a problem, but if you're just looking for an answer, if you can just ask your question and get it, most people I think will suck that up over having to log into Power BI, log into Tableau, find the right tool, click the right dashboard. If they could just be like, hey, what was my sales yesterday? And it'd be like, your sales was this. they'd be like, great, and they would move on, and they'd be a very happy customer.
Right. That's fantastic. Now, one of the big announcements yesterday was the concept of one lake security. When it comes to a lake house, managing security is a big challenge. How are you guys taking on that right now? What are your thoughts on like one lake security?
Well, I mean, that is an overhead that we have today, since we have a Azure Data Lake, we have a Tableau environment, a Databricks environment, and just managing all the different layers of security does take intentional decisions and people.
Right.
So the idea of having just one control plane is like very, it's an advantage I'd love to take. It's something I'd love to take advantage for. I can talk.
Yeah. You got this. I think it made perfect sense. You know?
I was getting there. But just clicky, draggy, droppy, right?
Right. That's all we're looking for, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, if we can have one layer, that'd be great. The issue we have is a lot of our access is very role dependent and location dependent. So role level security is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have to make a data set for this region, a data set for this branch. I want to actually just have one large data set that gets filtered dynamically.
Yeah.
So one lake security looks like it's starting to show the ability to do that.
MVP though, right?
MVP. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful though. I dropped some lines with the program team here. Hopefully they can add some of the features I need to do even more.
I think a lot of people are looking for that stuff. So, MVP, I think it's going to work. It'll be a nice start, but yeah, we definitely want to have that dynamic row level security, and hopefully sooner than later, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the medium to large business problem, right? Like you eventually get to the point where you're like, man, I can build a dashboard. It's amazing, but I don't want to have to build 100 of them. I want to just build one of them, and that's what most people actually want to see these days is row level security and things like that to make everybody's life easier.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, have you been attending sessions today?
Yeah, I've been to quite a few on. I'm excited about vector data types and SQL Server 2025. The ability to use SQL Server as a vector database is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Allows me to not have to have so many different disparate technologies to support. Because we use Azure Search today. We use some like Chromos DB for like local development. And the idea if I could just have SQL Server be productive enough as a vector database for some of our RAG solutions, that's exciting. So I'm actually following that track. I'm waiting for my private preview of the Docker container to get approved from Microsoft. If you're listening, I want a Docker container.
Well, I wager there's someone either watching or within arm's reach here that could potentially help you with that.
Great.
So awesome. Well, Justin, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the live stream.
Always pleasure, Chris, and thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be continuing to go live as more and more people come up. In fact, I think I see someone here just waiting in the wings to go live. So stay tuned. We'll be back shortly, all right? Baker Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital. You're all good.